Hi and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build your own backend. So if you run a more advanced chatbot, you probably will run into the issue that you want to add some functionality that you don't have in your bot builders. And this is where Flowwise comes in. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about Flowwise. So let's get started. Here in Flowwise, you see here I am on the website flowwiseai.com, and there is a GitHub repository that you can visit. At the moment when I'm doing this video, there is no hosted version of it, so you need to install it on your own server. But this is actually pretty easy and pretty straightforward. So I will show it to you in a second. So here we click on the GitHub repository and we will just scroll down here. Of course, it's possible to install it on your own Docker server or on your own other server. But what I want to do is I want to show you the easiest way to deploy it. Here we can just click on the railway. We can also deploy it on render with one click. So I will just click here on deploy to railway. So in my case now it's telling me I have all the used resources already because I have installed it already. So I will just go ahead, go to my dashboard and show you how it's actually running. And there's nothing you need to know for the installation process. As soon as you click this button, it will guide you through the installation process. And then you will see something like that. So here is my Flowwise installation. Here you see all the changes. So in my case, the last change happened 7 days ago. If I click on the installation, I see the history again. And the nice thing is I could just click on one of these options, say view logs or redeploy or rollback. So these are like backups as well. Here you can define the variables. I defined the password and the username and the port. You can do that as well. Just head over to the variables, and normally Railway will automatically find the variables that will be in GitHub. So it's very easy just to modify these variables. Then you have some metrics here, like over the last 7 days, I didn't really use it too much. Some memory usage here and so on. The settings, in the settings, it's also interesting to see how it's binded. So you can see here, the repository is the official Flowwise, and this one is mine. So it's the other way around. This is the official one. This is one of the creators, Henry Hang, of the Flowwise portal, and this is my GitHub account. And in my GitHub account, there will be the login data and the security stuff. So it's nicely separated. If I click here on the Flowwise, if I go back to development and then scroll up and just click on these links, you will see it is showing me some flows. The first flow I want to show you is a very simple flow, which will actually just take your documents and split it up into text files and combine, so you can ask Flowwise questions about the document, and you can also get information out of the large language model. So in this case, if you set it up, the first thing you would do is you would drag this component here. It's the conversational retrieval Q&A chain. You will find all the chains here. So if I go here, I will see here are all the options, and this would be the chain that I would just drag and drop here. And this actually requires, I will zoom in for you, this actually requires a language model, a vector storage, and a memory. You don't really need the memory, but it's recommended. So in our case, we have connected the data here, the language model, to a language model which is OpenAI, ChatGPT Turbo 3.5. I like the 3.5 model. The temperature I put to 0.7. Remember, if the temperature is 0.1, for example, it will exactly try to do what you put in. So the higher the number is, the more likely is that it's hallucinating and it's giving you some stuff you don't really want to see. The other thing you need to take care of is here the vector storage. And there is internal memory that you can use from Flowwise AI. So if you don't have a vector database, you can just go ahead, drag this out here. It's also just in here. You search for memory. There's buffer memory, there's different types of memory, but you just drag the memory here that you want. And then the memory requires a document. This is a document, it's just a text file, and you can just simply go ahead and click here, add your text file, upload the text file, and then the text file actually needs a text splitter. The text splitter will break down the text file into chunks, and this will actually allow the memory and everything to be stored, because the text file would be most of the time too big to store it or to access the data in a useful and fast way. This is why if you upload a text file, you can also go ahead and do it here. Here we have run into some issues because I'm not sure to this point if it's possible to upload more than one text files. It's actually possible, but I had the feeling that it's not really working. So if I upload these text files as well, they will appear here, but I'm not sure if they get indexed or not. What you can do is, and what they will do in the next version, which should come out actually in a few days, that they will have this file folder. And the file folder is already here. So let me see if I find the folder with files. The thing is, depending on your installation, it needs to be a local path. And if you do a Docker installation, that seems to be a problem to access it. But they're working on a solution that you can just put in your Google Drive address here, and you can just have the documents in your Google Drive, and it will actually index all of them, split them up, and you can ask the documents. So for now, I just put this text file. The last step we need is that we need to have, again, embedding. And the embedding, we also use OpenAI, and I use this embedding here. The embedding needs to be connected to the memory vector store. And then what we can do is actually here click on this bubble. It's very important all the time you did some changes. Just click here and save it. You will see this green thing. It's below the video here. It pops up. And then it's saved, because it happened to me many times. I'm doing changes and I'm clicking on the bubble, but I can't see the changes. So I just forgot to save. So what this allows us now to do is we can test it. If you just click on the bubble and you can put in information about the text document, you can ask about the text document, and you can also ask general information. But I don't really want to do that because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we want to use Flowwise as a backend for a bot. And here it comes in this embedding stuff. So you can embed this bot like it is on a website. It's not spectacular, it's just this bubble, as you know it from a lot of the other builders. You can put it like here, full page HTML, pop up, and full page React. Then you can have it into your Python, JavaScript. But what I want to show you, and what I will show you in the next videos, is you have all the informations here to embed it or use it in chatbot builders like Voiceflow or BotPress or any other builder, because you can use the webhooks of these bot building platforms and just use Flowwise as backend. And why should you do that? I just showed you some very simple things that you can build with Flowwise, but just look at all the options that you have here. So there's a lot of agents. You even have the AutoGPT agent, the baby AGI agent. I will just move this a little over. You should see it now. So you have all these agents here. You have these chains that you can use, a lot of LLM chains that you can use and connect. Then you have here these chat models. You have this Azure, you have the Anthropic model, you have the Hugging Face, you have Chat Local, you have the OpenAI models, of course, Chat Google, and then you have the document loaders, which will have API loader, Airtable, Figma, So GitHub, JSON files, Notion. You can connect to a lot of stuff. You have different embeddings here, Hugging Face, OpenAI, language models, again, more language models here. You can use memory. You have the buffer memory. You can connect to SAP memory, which will be a better memory. You can connect to Superbase and all the other stuff. So you have here the chat prompts that you can use. You have here again the retrievers, which you can actually change. And here we have the text splitters. You can split the text in different ways. Token text splitter, and here down there we have tools, API plugins, Brave browser search API calculator, custom tools where you can actually do your custom tools, program your custom tools, get post API, retrieve tools, and so on. You really should take a look and test it out for yourself. Here, if I go back, one more thing I want to show you, there's this marketplace where there's actually already built out agents or built out workflows where you can just click and integrate, and you don't have to build it yourself. The tools, there are some tools here you can also just use, or you can build your own tool you're going to build here. So you could just go ahead, name the tool, tool description, and then you can here add items, and then you would just build out your own connection, which is really handy. Credentials, in this case I just have connected the OpenAI key, and I have a Superbase connection because this chat here, this chat flow, this was the one with the internal memory, but I already have also built out a flow which is using the Superbase vector memory. So the only thing that is different is this element here. It exchanged the internal memory. So this is Superbase, which is actually an external vector memory, which works a little better. I like to use it. So the only thing I did here is I dragged and dropped in this Superbase thing that I found here in the plus section, and then you put in your API URL, so the project URL, you to say what table you want to store it in, and here the query name, and then you just connect the API key which I have added in the credentials section. So this is everything from today. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And in the next video, we will talk about probably another tool that you can use to set up flows like that. So the other tool will be a little more advanced. One thing we have to mention here in this case, Flowwise is open source. So basically it's free to use. You just need your own server. So this is great. In the case of using it connected to especially Voiceflow and other bot builders that will charge you for tokens, you can also save a lot of money if you use Flowwise as your backend, because then you're using your own token limits and you're not using the internal tokens, and this is much cheaper. I hope that is useful. I think you can give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I see you in one of my next videos. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you. Bye bye.